Hey everyone, Kim here, and I've got another My Top 5. This time it's Dexterity Games. Dexterity Games are games that require you to use your body, usually your hands, in a dexterous way to achieve the outcome you're looking for. Usually games require flicking of some kind, or stacking, or passing, and in my top 5, what I've done is I have broken down dexterity into 4 different categories. My 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are all different kinds of dexterity games, and then my number 1 combines a lot of those together, which is why it's my number 1. To get us started, I want to begin with a game that requires lobbing or launching. So here is my number 5. Coconuts! Coconuts! You have these little plastic mechanical monkeys, and you put a coconut inside of its little hands, you pull its hands back, and then it launches a coconut over his head. That's it. That's your whole turn. It's amazing. It's so fun. It's fast. Obviously, you can play this with children. I would say maybe 4 years old and higher. You try to get your coconuts into these cups that are in a central area. And if you do, then you get to take that cup. If it's a red cup, you get to go again. And you want to stack 6 cups in front of you on your personal player mat. 3, and then 2, and then 1 in a pyramid style. Turns are super fast. You put a coconut in. Actually, while you're waiting for your turn, you've got your coconut already positioned just right, because coconuts fly differently if they are launched in a particular way. So you've got your coconut already ready to go. You've got your hand down on the feet, and you've got your hand ready to go to pop that coconut. And then when it's your turn, coconuts go, fly. And everyone just goes 1, 2, 3, 4 around the table. Again, turns are fast, you're launching coconuts. Most of the time you miss, particularly when there are fewer cups in the center area. What you can do on your turn is launch a coconut into the center, or if your opponents have cups, you can start to steal their cups, which makes for really great player interaction. This game is silly, it is nonsense. You should not be proud that you won coconuts, but you definitely will have a great time with this launching / lobbing dexterous move in this game, Coconuts. This box is huge. Catacombs. Catacombs made my list because it is a fantastic example of flicking. Flicking is a really popular dexterity mechanic, and it's popular because the more you do it, the better you get at it. And in Catacombs, you are on a team with all of your friends. It is representative of a classic dungeon crawl, and that feel is so present in Catacombs. And when I say that you're with your friends, you have a team of heroes, and all of those heroes are going into this dungeon crawl against one person who's the overseer, and that person is going to run all the baddies. And so when you flick and you kind of make a bad move, you have your teammates there to hopefully fill in what you were supposed to do and make up for that. If not, it's just a wonderful disaster. So you're not in it alone, and the overseer, if they're playing it well like a great DM, will make sure that you have a good time even if your flicks are not great. So like I said, this game is a dungeon crawl, so you have a character that you're playing, and that character has ability cards and hit points and skills and spells and allies. It has a real strong feel for D&D or for role-playing, and that makes this game so fun and easy to get into. It is a juicy game. It's a long strategy game. You are not just going to play in one room. You are going to hopefully continue your slog through the catacombs until you reach the final boss, and you can hopefully defeat the boss It's a real challenge, but it is satisfying and fun, and you get to flick so many figures. There are obstacles on the board that are not just from the overseer or the baddie, the opponent. And you get to flick smaller discs when you have like fireballs and spells that you're sending the way of the monsters. The monsters have their own movements and their own progress and their own flicks. Initiative is just compelling and a nail biter. Every round that goes where everybody does their turn is just intense and fun and exciting. The map and the board and the components are fantastic. So you're going to have fun. You're going to spend a long time delving into this gem of a game, Catacombs. Make sure you get your flicking finger ready for this game. On a related note, if you would like to play a shorter version of Catacombs in a much smaller box, definitely check out Catacombs Conquest. This is a, again, much shorter game, smaller box. Sure, you don't get to flick as many things, but you get the feel for Catacombs without having to pull out a giant box and setting up for a couple hours as you go crawling through the catacombs. Dimension! As the box says, this is the spherical, stackable, fast-paced puzzle game. It's a pretty great pitch for Dimension. Dimension asks players to stack spheres on top of each other, kind of like in a pyramid fashion. This is a three-dimensional stacking game. You have 6 rounds, and each round there are rules that you have to follow, and this game is played in real time. So there's a timer that's set, and you have the same starting materials as everyone else. You have 3 spheres of each color. There are 5 colors, and you have to build this pyramid according to the rules. Certain spheres can't be next to other spheres. Certain spheres have to be touching other spheres. Some colors shouldn't be in the game. Some colors need to be in the game. Maybe 2 of the 3 colors. And you have to keep all of these rules straight from round to round to round within the time limit that you're given. You are constantly reassessing your pyramid, maybe sneaking a peek at the person next to you who you think has it figured out. Because once you're done, you just wait for the timer to go, and then we have a scoring period where we double check everyone's work and you get points based on if you followed the rules or not. It's fun, it's fast, you can play this with anyone. It's obviously an abstract game, so the theme is not there, but the game is strong, and I think the stacking and the moving and the real time makes people kind of freak out a little bit, and it's fun to do, but there's also a little bit of pressure that goes into it. When you knock your spheres off and they roll around the table, you have to spend time picking them up and acquiring them to put them back in the right spot before the timer runs out. This is a fun game, and you can get it on the table and play it in a pretty short amount of time. Rail Pass! Rail Pass! Wow! This is a passing game. You are, in real time, loading up cargo, little cubes, onto short and long trains that you have to manage with just 2 hands. You only have 2 hands, by the way. And you can hold trains, or you can put trains in a station and then load cubes, or you can hold a train over here, load cubes. You can be passing trains to people next to you or across the table from you. You have to go through tunnels, and you have to go over bridges, and you can't drop any cargo. If you do, the cargo goes into the center of the board, and those are negative points. If you, which happens every single time I play this, if you abandon a train, which means that the other person you're passing your train to does not take the other end and then take it away from you, if you just leave it in the middle of nowhere and then go back to what you were doing, that train is negative points and it goes into the center Not only is it negative points, you don't get to use that train anymore to move your cargo. And when you set the timer at the beginning of the turn, you are trying to get your cargo to the right location. There are 6 colored cubes, and all of those colored cubes, which I think there are 20 cubes of each color, they are being distributed to all of the locations that they need to go to. So I have a mix of a whole bunch of cubes on my station, and I got to get them to Red Station. Well, I'm not Red Station, so I've got to circulate through all the tunnels and the bridges and send this wherever it needs to go. Meanwhile, I'm getting trains from other people with cargo that match my station color, which is yellow. I've got to unload my yellow cubes into my yellow station so that they don't keep making the route. This game is fast-paced, it's fun, it's just a wonderful game to share with people. Even when some people say, I can't play real-time games, I don't like the pressure, I make them play it anyway, and we laugh when we have all of this cargo littered all over the table and trains knocked over and we're all just sweating and one person's crying in the corner. Rail Pass is fun. You have to be dexterous and you have to always be thinking about the rules and how to get your cargo to the best place in the most efficient way. Oh, right, glad you caught me. One more thing about Rail Pass. The entire game, no one's allowed to speak to each other. I cannot believe I almost forgot that. That's what makes the game amazing. Puts it right over the top. Do you know what the only thing you can say? Toot toot. That's it. That's all you can say. So for 10 minutes, you have an entire table of people who are just saying toot toot, toot toot, toot toot. And the more insistent the toots are, the funnier the game gets. Also, you can hear some pretty sad toots when players that are next to you are not listening to you, and you've been holding a train at them to take for seems like hours, and you're going toot toot, toot toot, and you are just sad, just devastated toot tooting. The toot toots. That's brilliant. An amazing, amazing part of this game. Don't forget it. Space Cadets. Space Cadets is my #1 dexterity game because it combines several dexterity mechanics into one really fun, cooperative space game. This has real-time gameplay. It also has a variety of jobs that, depending on the players present, can find a niche or try something new. This game is versatile and fun, and it plays 3 to 6 players. The fewer players you have, the more jobs they get to do, the more tasks they get to do. But if you have 6 players, you are running a full ship. This feels a little bit like Star Trek, and I think that's what it's supposed to feel like. You're flying a ship, and you have a captain, you have engineering, and in engineering what you do is you're placing these tiles that match on particular sides to give bonuses to other positions that players are playing that give them benefits that they can start planning and strategizing for. There's also a torpedo shooting in which you are flicking torpedoes a certain length, and you really have to gauge your flicking accordingly. There's another one where players will reach into a bag and feel particular shapes of things. Those are your sensors. It's just so interactive, and you do have a lot going on with your strategy, but also with your ability to think in real time, make plans, and make decisions. And also sometimes you just pull the wrong thing out of the bag because you thought it was one thing and it's actually the other thing. And your flicks for your torpedoes, maybe they don't go right, and you don't plan for the right protection on your ship, and so you're not putting those buffers and defenses in the right place. But you are on a team, and your team is hopefully crushing it. You can always swap jobs if you feel like maybe you're not the strongest at one particular thing. Space Cadets requires that you have a lot of different jobs, and in those jobs you're doing a very different task. not just for the game itself, but you're doing something very different. Your components and your pieces that you're playing with are very different from the person sitting next to you. I also appreciate Space Cadets because it's cooperative. And I think a little bit of that pressure is taken off of the real-time play and the stress of being successful if you are all on the same team and you either win together or you lose together. Hopefully it's win. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my top 5 Dexterity games. I know you have favorites of your own, so put those Dexterity games in the comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe.